Welcome back everyone to become cybersecurity expert. My name is Pranav. Today we are going to see what is multi-factor authentication. Every day we hear multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication. Is it same or different or related to each other? So let us see. So let's take an example first. Simple classic day-to-day example. Whenever we do some banking transaction, when we type our credentials, means user ID and password, we get OTP on our mobile. We type the OTP and then authentication is complete. You log into the banking portal and you do your transactions. It is classic example of two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. So there are three factors of authentication. The basic one which we know since last few decades is user ID followed by password or PIN. So that is what you know. You know your password, you know your PIN. So that is called as something you know. So it is one of the factors of authentication. It is necessary. No doubt it is necessary. But not sufficient. Some hacker may guess your credentials and may misuse it. So even though it is necessary, it is not sufficient. So we need to make this control stronger. It is part of identity and access management. We need to make the control stronger. So you need to use something which you have. You have your secure ID token given by your company, or you have smartphone with you. So as we saw in our example, after typing credentials, we get OTP on our phone. Or if your company has given you secure ID token, that token keeps on changing after periodic interval, that is 30 seconds or 1 minute, whatever is said by your company. So after typing credentials, you need to type that secure ID token or OTP which you have received on your phone. So it makes the control stronger. The risk that someone may guess your credentials and misuse it, it reduces drastically. So you have used two factors to authenticate, but there is third factor. And what is that third factor? It is you, someone you are. So that is biometric authentication. So you may need to put your finger and the system will scan your fingerprints, and after a recognition it will grant you access, or it will do retina scan. Even though you use your credentials and OTP, means you have used two-factor authentications, something you know and something you have, it reduces the risk. It reduces it drastically, but still risk remains that some person has guessed your credentials and also has got access to your device, that is secure ID or smartphone, and that person may misuse it. Risk still remains. To overcome that risk, this is third factor of authentication, someone you are. So after putting your credentials, the system may ask you for your fingerprint or retina scan, which if it is already registered, it will recognize that yes, you are the person. who you are claiming to be, and the system will grant you access. So these are three factors of authentication. Something you know, that is password or PIN. Something you have, that is either secure ID token or smartphone, means OTP. And someone you are, means either your fingerprint or retina scan. So these are three factors of authentication. So if you use password and PIN to authenticate, it will make your control strong, because you are using two things, password and PIN. But we cannot call it multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, because you are using same factor twice, password and PIN. If you use two different factors, any combination of these three, then it is called as multi-factor authentication. So many times we hear and use two terms intermittently, two-factor authentication and multi-factor authentication. Is it same or different? These two terms are related to each other. If you are using more than one factor of authentication, then it is multi-factor authentication. So two-factor authentication is a type of multi-factor authentication. Similarly, if you are using all three types of authentication factors, password, OTP as well as retina scan, then it is three-factor authentication. So if you are using more than one factors, then it is multi-factor authentication. It may be two-factor, it may be three-factor, but it is multi-factor authentication. So these terms are related to each other. Nowadays, all or almost all organizations are moving to cloud, and mainly public cloud, for cost benefits and easy to administer. There are many advantages of going to cloud. Nowadays, especially after COVID, many companies have given work from home permission. So your users and employees may be operating from remote location or their home or anywhere in the world, and that is high probability nowadays. So there is high probability that someone will hack your credentials, someone will guess it and misuse it. So to avoid that, multi-factor authentication plays a very critical role in cloud environment. So as much as possible, use multi-factor authentication and make your system more secure. Hope you have liked this video, you have understood it. If yes, please like the video and subscribe your own channel, Cybersecurity Expert. Thank you so much.